practical advice in terms of dealing with stress, dealing with anxiety, dealing with fear, dealing with overwhelm, dealing with all these emotions that we feel as humans. Hello there everyone, welcome to the Edward White Audio Thoughts. This week I'm going to talk about a book that I'm reading and a book that is having quite an impact on my life. And it's something that I think I've been doing for a while. It's something that I think I've been aware of, but I've not really known how to put it into practice. The book's called Radical Acceptance by Brach. It's a meditation / psychology book, Buddhist meditation psychology book, and in it she gives a lot of really good examples and a lot of like practical advice in terms of dealing with stress, dealing with anxiety, dealing with fear, dealing with overwhelm, dealing with all these emotions that we feel as humans, and learning to live with it instead of trying to seek to get rid of it. So let me give you kind of a bit of a backstory. I work quite a lot, and I would say that work is my escapism, but I honestly do enjoy it. I love it. I love what I do. I love the process. I love building it. But there does become a time when it gets to that stage of I feel like I'm just working for the sake of it and working to fill some kind of gap that's there, that's missing, and that I feel like I need to do something in order to feel like satisfied and fulfilled. And there's a really fine line between like being a workaholic and enjoying what you do, and then being like overworking and really stressed and putting pressure on yourself and feeling like a perfectionist, and that you've got to keep going, you've got to keep developing. But like, so the reason that I'm saying this is because I find it when I'm doing it, and say there's something coming up or there's something going on in my life, and I feel like I need to work to get almost that validation. And I know that sounds stupid, and I know it sounds a bit weird, but like reading the book, it kind of put into perspective that like that is what I do. And don't get me wrong, I do love working. I absolutely love working. Coronavirus has hit me hard because I've not been able to work as much, and but like the point is that like it's working and loving what you do, but then knowing when you're working because there's that sense of not feeling completely up to it and completely into what you're doing. It's hard to describe. So like for me, I'll try and give you an example. It would be like I make something. I make something just completely for being creative, and like the pressure comes from me feeling like I have to do that and get that done. And then I think if I'm feeling stressed or I'm feeling overwhelmed, and by me putting these arbitrary, like, you need to get this done, stickers essentially on it, it becomes to that sort of, it goes over the edge and pushes you too far. So where I'm trying to go with this is in the book, she talks about how there's, in life, we seem to either go through like difficult times and we instantly look for escapism, and I work is my escapism. So like, I don't say sit and watch Netflix, or I don't binge watch TV, or I don't do any of that. I don't drink, I don't eat silly. I work, and that is my kind of get away from the emotions that I'm feeling. And yeah, I've said that I think that's where I struggled like last week. If you follow me on social media, like you would have seen, but like I really struggled in the sense that I didn't really know where I wanted it to go, and it just waiting on people and other things like that, and then it just kind of turned into this anxious feeling. And yeah, then I put unnecessary pressure on myself, and I put my pressure on myself to work, and I put pressure on myself to do stuff to make me feel happy, and then it just never leads to anything, and it just ultimately leads to me feeling stressed and more overwhelmed. And yeah, not a good sign, not a good trait. But like in the book, she talks about many different examples, and they go really into detail and really into like messed up stuff in terms of like childhood trauma. I just, yeah, really like, touch wood, I've had a really good childhood. Like I can't think of anything off the top of my head that like, yeah, I don't think anything happened to me that was detrimentally bad. But yeah, all these stories in this book, she talks about how like feelings pop up, and feelings for these people that have gone through these sort of things, and part of the meditation practice is to sit at it and sit with it and be with that feeling. And it can feel horrible. Like if you would have gone through this because you're human, but like, remember the last time you felt fear and you felt scared or anxious or nervous or any one of those emotions. Like you have a certain sort of triggers to tell you that your body will be telling you that you're feeling those things. So it could be, for me, I know what it is. It's I get really hot on the back of my neck and top of the forehead. I get like a tingly feeling in sort of my arms, and then I get like I almost stop breathing. Like I don't know why I do, but I won't breathe, and it'll be like I can feel it, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm feeling this. But look for those signs. Look for what your body's telling you, and part of the meditation practice and part of the awareness is that you're being okay with what you're feeling. You're not trying to push it away. You're not trying to subside it. You're not trying to get rid of it. You're just trying to see it for what it is. And I know this sounds like complete hippie bullshit, but I honestly, the further and further I go into it, and the more I read about it and learn about it and do it, I actually believe in what they're saying, and I believe in what I'm seeing. And for myself and my own experience, like I can see what I've been through, and I can see how it's impacted me and how quickly I can get back into feeling good about myself and progressing. Because like, no matter where you are in life, you are going to go through setbacks, and life is just a game of going forward, setback, going forward, setback, going forward, setback, going forward, setback. So you're never ever gonna achieve what you think you're going to achieve in the way you think you're going to achieve it. And what I mean by that is like, you're going to have so many setbacks throughout your life, and that is just life. Life is a game of learning. Life is a game of going through and just discovering different things. And I think that's beautiful. I think for me, that's the joy of life. And I know it gets stressful, and I know it gets horrible, and you can feel lots of different things. And honestly, like these past few months have just been up and down, up and down, up and down. And I can now see that I was in a weird mental place and not really listening to my feelings and listening to the kind of senses that I was feeling. I urge any one of you to read this book and look at different meditation, look at different practices. There's a guy called Sam Harris who talks about meditation quite a lot. Tim Ferriss, any of his podcasts, they talk about meditation quite a lot. I really do think it helps, and I really do think a lot more people should, pardon me, learn about it and discover it and really become in touch with your body, like become in touch with your mind and stop just living this like you're in this sort of shell that you're just going through life. Like live as if you have a purpose. Live as if like your life actually means something, because it does, and like you owe it to yourself to give your life that. I really do think. This has turned into a little bit of a rant. I haven't had rant. I haven't had a rant on one of these in ages. I don't think I've had a rant on one of these in... Yeah, I don't think I've had a rant on Storytime. It's not ranting. It's just telling you. Like, I wish more people could feel what I feel in terms of like loving what I do. I think people are too busy looking for the instant gratification. And yeah, this is what I talked about in the book. Like people feel these feelings of fear, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, and they look for that instant gratification of oh, what's going to give me that dopamine hit? What's going to give me that serotonin? What's going to boost my overall sense of happiness? And they look for it in say Netflix, in say anything, going on YouTube, trolling through YouTube, like all these little things that give people, and don't get me wrong, like reading a book or thinking that you're doing something practical can be just another form of escapism, like, because you're going to keep feeling these feelings, and the more you push it back, the worse it gets, and the worse it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. So yeah, I really urge you to stop. If you just stop, like just pause. That's another thing the book tells you. It's just pause with the moment, pause with what you're doing, pause with what you're going through, and realize that you're just in this moment at this moment. And I think we can go through life, and I do this a lot, and I'll go through life and I'll just be back to back, and you're never really taking the time to pause and just reflect. Like it's always just go on and do it. But I do think, like, if you just take the time to pause after everything you've done, after say you're working on a big project, so you're working on a I don't know, you're a copywriter and you're doing a big project and you finish that big project, like just take a pause, look at what you've done, look at what you've achieved, look at what you've been through, and how you've come out the other side. Like, don't just instantly go onto social media or instantly go and do the next thing. Like 2 minutes, literally just 2 minutes, pause, be with it. And yeah, I think there's a beauty in slowing down to get faster. Like, because I think by slowing down and pausing, or stopping and pausing, sorry, you're essentially going to slow down or you're going to limit the amount of like overwhelm, anxiety inducing states that you're going to be in later down the line. So I think yeah, pause and be okay with what you're dealing with, and yeah, just know that life is going to be okay. Life is going to be okay. It's hard, it's scary. I felt, over the last few weeks I've felt all of this, and I know I'm going to feel it all again, but I know I'm getting better, and I know I'm getting and developing, and I know I'm growing. So yeah, I just wanted to part this bit of advice to you, and I hope that it helps. I really do. And yeah, if I find any more books that I think I would recommend, I would definitely recommend them to you. Yeah, just understand that life is beautiful. You are on this world. You are in this world for a reason. Live your purpose. Live for a reason. And you are so worth it. You are so entitled to it. And I think more people need to take that entitlement and run with it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one.